What's going on, guys? This is Bears. I want to talk about backpacking and picking a cap or a hat, if you will, a beanie, whatever you want to call it. You know, this is definitely something that you really have to take into consideration when you're going backpacking. And the reason I say that is because a hat and the proper hat, picking the proper kind of material hat is definitely going to extend your journey out into the wilderness and actually make it, a good experience or a bad experience. So let's get talking about which ones I like, which ones I don't. First off, here's just something, basic. This is a Hurley. It's actually acrylic, and as you can see here, it's going to say acrylic. This is okay for maybe around town, etc. But when you're using this out in the wilderness, you really don't want to get this, crazy wet or anything. It's not going to retain the warmth. It's almost on line with cotton, if you will. And when we come over here, we actually have one that does have cotton in it. This is a Garoon Brothers, I think, yeah, Garoon Brothers, and this actually has some cotton in it. And this one, I really don't use a lot. It's something I got because I thought it looked cool a long time ago, and I don't use this in the wilderness at all. Quite frankly, I don't really use this very much at all. I'll just throw it on if I'm a little chilly around the house maybe, but this one definitely doesn't go outdoors with me because cotton, once it gets wet, it stays wet until it's dry. It sounds kind of dumb, but it doesn't retain any warmth when it's wet. Compared to wool, like this one here, this is actually a Canadian surplus, Canadian military surplus, really heavy, 100% wool hat. I should cut the tag out. This one is my favorite. I wear this a lot, and this is heavy duty, and you can see definitely getting a lot of wear to it because I wear it a lot. It goes in my pack. If I had to pick one cap I'm going to take with, it's going to be this 100% wool. Wool, for the most part, is going to retain your warmth when it's wet, and that's some properties that other fabrics like cotton and acrylic really can't do. You can't beat 100% wool. This is like $8. So if you're looking for 100% wool, and this one over here, this is a U.S. Army black watch cap. This is 100% wool too. These are all cheap. You can find these, under $10 very easily, and I recommend those if you can't get a hold of anything else. It's a little more exotic. As far as Polar Tech, this is great. You don't want to get it super soaking wet. This is just a Polar Tech. It's kind of like a military watch cap, if you will. Also keeps your head really warm. Just not made for the weather, if you will. And I would recommend, again, like a wool or like an alpaca blend, something like that for more of the weather, or a technical kind of hat. But for just keeping your head warm, this is definitely something you could throw in your pack and combined with maybe something like a technical hat. And I really like this a lot as far as the weight. It's super lightweight, and it definitely keeps your head super warm. Now let's move on to something. This is more of, I wouldn't say designer, but this is more of a cap that you would find maybe at REI, maybe somewhere in the mall. This is made by Cole. Something I got a long time ago. And this is actually an interesting blend of material. It's wool, but it's actually Angora and nylon and a wool mixture. Mostly wool though. And I really like this cap. I had a video where I had this cap on a long time ago. It gets wet, it stays warm, it really takes the weather really well. And it's hard to find something that's kind of like a designer, if you will, cap that's actually going to work in the wilderness. But if you look at the materials and you go with something like wool, something like nylon, something synthetic, if you will, you're definitely going to get something that's going to work in the wilderness. We're going to move on to something that's a little more, I wouldn't say exotic, but this is actually made by Mountain Goat Gear. I believe that's what it is. And I'll put a link down below to this. This is actually a lady. Her name is Kat. And, she makes these. And this one is actually a alpaca and wool mixture, merino wool mixture. And this hat is really comfortable. It's really soft. And it really is warm. And it's a good price, around $30. Handmade. You can't beat it. This is actually a rolled edges, so it looks a lot better on the wife compared to me. It looks a little interesting on me, even though I'll wear it because it's super warm. So I will steal this and take this into the wilderness if need be. But I'm trying to get her to make me one that has the just a regular kind of look to it, like this one right here. She makes those as well. This one's really cool though. This really keeps you super warm. And when it comes to the weather, It definitely has some resistance to that as well, because it's also that the wool's in there, so you don't have to worry as much about the weather. And when it comes to like a technical cap like this BlackRock gear, the thing you have to remember is you're going to spend a good amount of money on this. This is going to be, I think it's around $50 to $60, and you're going to spend a good amount of money, but you're going to get a ton of you know, features, if you will. You are going to get a shell on the outside that's resistant to the weather. You're going to get super warmth because it has duck down on the inside of it. It has this nice strap on the inside here. It's kind of like furry, if you will. But I mean, I throw this cap on and it really brings out the warmth. It's super light. I think it weighs like 22 grams. I mean, it's super light. And you know, the ultimate, if you will, is doing something like this cap with this. You can, you know, use, like I said, the Polar Tech, and then throw this over top. That is insane. That amount of warmth, insane. If you want to go into Sub-Zero, throw that and that together, you're going to have a pretty decent night's sleeping. And like I said, you're going to spend a lot of money, but you're going to save a lot of weight. You know, if you compare this wool to this, I mean, it's just incredible how much this weighs compared to how much this, you know, wool weighs. You're going to get about the same performance out of them, but you're going to get a lot more instantaneous warmth with this one right here. You're going to get a lot less weight, and as far as comfortable, you know, ness goes, this is way more comfortable than this wool is. You know, after a while, this wool wears on you. If you put this on and you wear this all day long, and it has this real soft, nice, you know, edge on it that goes around your ears, and I like it a lot. And like I said, it has that duck down, and it has this weather-resistant exterior. So there's a lot of different caps out there you can get. You want to stay away from cotton. You want to stay away from, you know, stuff that's not going to retain warmth. What you really want to stick with is synthetics. Number one, wool, alpaca, possum. I don't have a possum hat. I do have a possum down. I have gloves that are possum down. Incredible stuff. They make a merino wool / possum beanie that I like to get a hold of. I'm sure that is incredibly warm. Those gloves are the best thing since sliced bread. So I really would like to get a beanie with possum fur, with the merino wool mixture. You know, you stick to this kind of stuff, you're going to be good. You start going with just something you can get, you know, at Walmart, that's just cotton, acrylic. You're really going to have a tough go of it if you go out extended periods of times, and if you go out and you hit any kind of weather and you're expecting this to kind of keep the weather off of you, you're really going to have a horrible time out there. So if you're going out, just remember, stick with, you know, wool, alpaca, possum, synthetics, you know, like nylon. This is a nylon mixture. You know, stick with that kind of stuff, and you're gonna have a pretty decent time out there. As far as price goes, if you have the money, I would definitely recommend this BlackRock gear. You know, if this was probably around $20 to $25. You know, if I'm gonna pick one out of all of these, I'm picking this one because it has nylon in it. It has, you know, wool, and it was relatively cheap. It fits over your head really well. It doesn't weigh as much as just this whole wool one does. I would definitely pick something like this, but if you got the money, you know, and even this was the same price, and this is really comfortable, really warm, you know, but if you have the money, I definitely recommend getting one of these, because when you combine this with just one of these regular, you know, old military kind of wool hats, you really get a ton of warmth, and it's going to get you through a really cold day. So if you guys have any questions on you know, going out into the wilderness with beanies or caps, a lot of people ask me about, you know, clothing, you know, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, or better yet, make a video about it. We can have a discussion going. And if you have any comments or anything, leave them down there. And until next time, later.